lots of different drugs in the obesity market, but what we have found from the preclinical data is we get really great results with much less side effects, because the biggest issues folks have when they take these anti-obesity drugs: nausea, vomiting, gallbladder issues. So we kind of think that we have something special here, and that we're excited about to develop and do it along with the Veterans Administration.
Welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporter's next Super Stock live stream, where we bring you those stocks which have that 10x to 100x upside potential. And we're back with HOTH Therapeutics. Rob Nee. Rob, welcome back to the program.
Hey, Jack, I'm in a hurry to talk to you. Look, how are you today? Thank you for having me on.
Great. It's sort of like, the racehorse that just breaks out of the gate right before it's ready. It's just
right.
This is it. The big things are happening with HOTH. I mean, Rob, you're kind of like the stock chart right now. The stock just wants to explode right now. You can look at that chart and we see this pennant formation. Everything is lining up. We got massive buy signals technically. But let's talk about the fundamentals. So it's been a while since we've had you on. You've had some big news coming out. I know we only have a few minutes with you, so let's try to cover as much as we can. You had positive data with a number of your drugs in development, but the thing I want to really focus on is something which the market missed, which is you had this news about you're entering the $100 billion obesity market with a license from the VA on this. What do you call it? It's GDNF compound. Can you explain what this is?
Let me walk you through this. So it's very interesting. If you remember a while back, I talked to you about how we have Maryville AI, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of the company, where we use AI, right? Where we use AI to try to identify different assets, different ways to utilize the current drugs in our pipeline. So when we were searching in the obesity market to see if there's anything really exciting out there for HOTH to develop, our AI agent was able to find this asset. And it was being developed at the Veterans Administration in the U.S. government. We entered into a contract with the U.S. government, with the Veterans Administration, to co-develop this drug. So we have a license for it, and then we're looking forward to hopefully working with the Veterans Administration and Emory University, where the professor who developed this drug is out of, to bring this to fruition and bring it into the clinic and to patients. So we're super excited about it. As you know, there's lots of different drugs in the obesity market, but what we have found from the preclinical data is we get really great results with much less side effects to the body. So we're excited about that, because the biggest issues folks have when they take these anti-obesity drugs: nausea, vomiting, gallbladder issues. So we kind of think that we have something special here, and that we're excited about to develop and do it along with the Veterans Administration. So we'll hopefully, as we progress on that, we'll be able to report what's going on with that asset, and the co-development plan that we have put in place. We should have something to talk about hopefully shortly, where we can kind of lay out our whole, I wouldn't say our whole development plan, but where we're going with this and how we think it'll affect the market as a whole.
Okay. So in the press release, it said that this is a novel therapeutic that centers on glial cell line-derived neurotrophic factor, GDNF.
So yeah, so what's interesting. Yeah, I'll describe for you. So what's interesting is this drug was originally developed for liver ailments. Okay. And what we found is, while the animals were getting this drug, the side effect or effect that was positive is they're also losing weight without giving inflammation in the body, without harming other organs. So sort of, if you think about semaglutide and some of the other drugs, they weren't originally developed for obesity. They were developed for diabetes, for management of diabetes. So, and then, we opened up the box here, and then found out that, hey, patients could take this drug that was originally for diabetes and repurpose it for obesity. So similar game plan here. And we're hoping that, we have something that could be orally dosed and could also, stop those side effects that hurt patients so much and make these folks go off these anti-obesity drugs.
Okay, so two major distinctions. One is less side effects, right? Less side effects, and also oral versus injection, because I think the Ozempics, those are all injection based drugs right now.
Yeah, which I think is the biggest deal of all. I mean, if you look at the semaglutide and these drugs, they're all injection based. You do have a population out there that doesn't like needles. You do have a population out there
Yeah,
that doesn't want to
I don't like needles. Yeah, for sure.
Right. So, and you think about when you travel with this, you have to keep it cold. You have to have a syringe. You've got all sorts of issues, if you're taking this on a trip, a vacation, whatever it might mean. To be able to dispense it orally would be a really big difference for patients.
Okay, no, it could be a major game changer.
Yeah, exactly.
So the bottom line is this. Okay, I think the big story, I think, with HOTH is, again, the market cap right now is what, like $15-18 million, I think, right now, approximately. You got 10 million. Yeah, and you got 10 million in cash. So
correct.
I mean, the thing is basically free. You have at this point, with the obesity drug, now you have, is it 6 programs? Is it 5 or 6?
So the ones that we're focusing on right now, just to talk about the pipeline a little bit, our main focus is HT001, which is our chemo rash drug. Then we have HD-KIT, which is our oncology drug for mast cell tumors. We have the obesity drug and Alzheimer's. Those 4 are the ones we're focused on. We have 2 other drugs in the pipeline that we have done preclinical work on. It's just a question of time commitment to these different drugs in the pipeline and dollar commitment. So our focus really is, what's our 2025, 2026 plan? We want to get to market on these assets as quick as possible. We want to get in the clinic as quick as possible. So our allocation really is dollars spent and where we put them. So HT001, HD-KIT, and obviously the obesity drug are really our main focuses for 25 and 26.
Okay, no, it's interesting. So again, your background is as a hedge fund manager. So you're focused on really capital allocation, maximizing shareholder value. Actually, in this case, it's literally maximizing.
It's a great way to put it. I mean, if you look at that, is the way we kind of calculate, right? What's our delta and where we're going to get the biggest bang for our buck, and offset our risk. So our company obviously survives and thrives. So we're looking to be in the thrive stage right now. We've got a drug in the clinic in HT001. We've got another drug ready for the clinic, hopefully next year, in HD-KIT. And now we've got this very exciting obesity plan that we're working on, co-developing with the Veterans Administration. I think that says a lot about our credibility for them to work with us. I think that's a big deal, and that's I think when they go through their due diligence to making sure that we are obviously a company that they trust with their asset.
Yeah, no, it's a big deal. So basically, the bottom line is this. I mean, look, this is a stock where you have multiple shots on goal for these are all billion-dollar market opportunities. Like every one of these opportunities you're going after, all these programs, they're all billion-dollar moonshots, right? And the market cap is 15, 18. So you have this asymmetric setup here, which this is the type of thing that really we look for stocks which have that 10x plus upside potential. So this is incredible. Do you have time to just, again, in case we have new people watching, do you have time just to give a quick recap of the other programs that you have? I know you have like 10 minutes.
Let me walk you through our past couple of weeks to kind of give the folks out here and all our investors and shareholders an idea what's going on. So about a week and a half ago, we had an update regarding HT001. We had 2 main investigators, Dr. Adam Friedman, Dr. Jonathan Zippin, talk about the trial, talk about the success that HT001 is having, that primary endpoints are, signal that we're getting is being met in the trial, in the PK study. Then we have, the randomized. We're hopefully to get that data soon. We're expanding our enrollment, which is great. We're getting more patients enrolled. And so far, 100% of patients have been able to continue their treatment. 100% of patients have had no side effects from our drug. That's a very big endpoint that the signal is showing us. So that gives
Yeah.
us a lot of confidence that the drug is working and it's producing as it should in the clinic in human trials. So, and that's a phase 2, as we've mentioned in the past. Then we talked about our obesity. We put out a press release. Investors can go to hoththerapeutics.com, take a look at some of the press releases that we put out in the past to update you if you're unfamiliar with the story on the company. And we said that, hey, we have this contract with the Veterans Administration. We're going to co-develop this drug with them. And obviously, as I said, we're looking forward to having sharing more on this drug as our clinical plan gets laid out for investors, and how we'll be working with the Veterans Administration. So we hope to have that.
And I think the market really just completely missed that news release because it was like right around the holidays. We're in the summer. It's like right around July 4th. Because otherwise, this would be like something. This is the type of catalyst that normally could we've seen stocks triple with this.
We're focusing on the fundamentals, right? So we'll let the market do what it does. Hope to get recognized. We're here talking to you. Obviously, outreach. We want people to understand our story, understand what we're doing, look at the drugs in our pipeline that are unmet needs, patients that have no current therapies or therapies that aren't working as well. That's why we're developing these drugs. That's why we think our pipeline is more exciting. Each day as we enroll more patients in the clinical trial, as we do further studies in our preclinicals, we continue to report to the street, let them know what we're doing, and updating them.
Okay. Rob, what else can we, what kind of news flow can we expect for the next couple of weeks?
I think we're, like I always say, we're very communicative. If anything changes within the company, any contracts are signed for whether it's research, co-development, results, we put that out there. We're very communicative, and I try to talk to investors as much as possible, try to attend as many conferences as possible. We did bio in Boston recently.
Oh, yeah.
Got bio in Europe coming up that we'll talk to and hopefully meet some prospective partners there as well. So we continue to pound the pavement, try to find partners to work with us, try to find good co-developers as well. So I think, as I always say, we try to be as communicative as possible.
Okay, excellent. Let's wrap up. With the question I always like to ask, CEOs, like in your opinion, at this stage in time, where the company is again with all this news, what would you say? Top 3 reasons why investors should consider the stock. Give us from your opinion as
Look,
former.
I always, I've licensed every asset that the company's had. We've gone through all our due diligence here, trying to find, like I said, areas where there is an unmet need and where there's nothing current. If you look at HT001, there's nothing on the market for chemotherapy rash. And more different cancer fighting drugs that get introduced to the market all have the same largest side effect. What is it? Rash. And then patients have to stop their treatment because they get these cutaneous lesions on their face, their chest, their scalp, and they're so painful they can't continue their treatment. So for us, we think this is a game changer for all patients going through a cancer treatment. So that's one. We think our obesity drug obviously could be a game changer if we can figure a way to make this an oral and without the side effects that the GLP drugs are showing, these diabetic drugs, which, they curb your appetite, but they're also causing gallbladder issues, thyroid issues, obviously, as I mentioned, nausea. People are missing work because they're taking this drug. So, everybody tells me, oh, I'm taking, X drug, and the first week is awful. When you give yourself the injection, then the following time you have to give yourself the next injection. You have to kind of plan for when you're going to be nauseous or when you might not be able to go to work. So that's a big deal. And the HG kit, probably by far, right next to these 2 drugs, are very, very exciting drug that we're very excited to get in the clinic, hopefully sometime in 26. This is our cancer drug mast cell cancers, and we put out great preclinical data. It's an oligonucleotide drug, something different that the market, very little development has been out there. So I think there's lots of highway for us. That's clear that with these drugs that could be game changers. As I always say, biotech, it's a tough business, but you only need one to work.
Right. And you have basically 5, possibly 6 shots on goal here. Again, all massive, billion-dollar opportunities.
They're big opportunities.
Wow, okay. Thank you again. Thank you for the update, and we look forward to hearing more from you in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I hope I can come back next week and talk a little bit more and have a little update for you.
Okay, it'll be good to have you on. We haven't, we haven't seen you in a few weeks. Now, this looks like there's going to be the news flow is going to be picking up.
I appreciate having me on, Jack. Thank you.